It brings people together, from all different countries, all different, racial backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, and a lot of people come together just to play, that particular sport, whether it be basketball, baseball. It gives everybody something to cheer for, and then also you have such a great event like the Olympics, have different people with different perspectives, and it just helps the game continue to evolve.
Well, the unique thing about sports that brings a great deal of joy in my heart is you can take different people from various socioeconomic backgrounds and bring them together for a common goal. Whether you talk about the sport that I teach in particular, which is men's basketball, you got all these different people from walks of life, working together synergistically towards their objectives each and every possession on a basketball court. And that's one of the things that we really enjoy about it.
My experiences overseas, I think it's, you got cultural aspects, you got ethnicity aspects, but I think sports in general is the great equalizer. When I grew up, I was just outside Detroit. There wasn't a lot of diversity in my high school. Then coming to the University of Michigan, all there is here is diversity. And you have to deal with a lot of different religions, races, creeds and colors and all those different types of things.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize about the Harlem Globetrotters in particular is they introduced basketball to the world. At a time when African Americans weren't allowed to play in the NBA, the Globetrotters opened that door and expanded the mindsets of people throughout the globe. If you can imagine, before the NBA really caught fire, the Globetrotters would come in as the headliner to boost the attendance numbers of NBA games. So that's just one way that the Globetrotters were able to really spread popularity amongst the sport throughout the world.
It's funny because when you play overseas, I was fortunate enough to have a lot of American coaches, but I also had a lot of foreign coaches. And the timeouts would come out and the coach would be yelling at you in Polish, and you really knew what he was saying even though you didn't understand the language because you could tell by the tone of their voice. Another example is when players in a game made a mistake, things they said, you knew what that meant because that would be the same thing you would say in English if you made the mistake. So you didn't know the language, but that really wasn't that necessary because you could read their body language.
Well, I'm from Nigeria, and going over and playing with them, basketball helps. I think it helps build relationships, help build a lot of things, and it is kind of like a universal language. You might not speak the same language as them. You can kind of understand, the same things that they're saying or feeling, and I think that helps people bond when they play. People learn from each other. They observe one another, and they become peers.
I think sports unity is going to evolve throughout the future, tremendously, throughout all the countries, and that's not in the work aspect of it, but in the sports aspect, and just having a lot of variety of people coming from all over the world just to play sports that they have never played before or experienced.
You go back and look at movies that were made in the 60s with the black and white issues in the United States and how that brought teams together.
I mean, the ping pong, China, U.S. thing all started from table tennis.
So it definitely unifies people and brings them together as one.
Anything is possible. Like Adidas, impossible is nothing.
I said confident.